Hi there guys, so as we know, Anthony Joshua was on the road for the whole of 2019, fighting in America, making his debut over in the USA, fighting Andy Ruiz Jr. but losing in dramatic fashion, and then regaining all of the world titles that he had previously lost at Madison Square Garden. He regained them in Saudi Arabia, so he was on the road for the whole of 2019. Now obviously, we want him to come back to the UK, we want him to fight in London or anywhere in the UK would do. But AJ's promoter, Eddie Hearn, has revealed that Anthony Joshua is not done fighting on foreign soil. Eddie Hearn has revealed that Anthony Joshua could fight in Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of Congo, where the epic Rumble in the Jungle took place. This is what Eddie Hearn had to say about that famous venue. It's probably the most famous venue or fight of all time. The DRC is looking to regenerate that stadium. That's special, that's legacy, that's career defining. There have been meetings held about that. It's pie in the sky at the moment, but the approach is there, and it's something we'll have to look at. Anthony Joshua wants to create a legacy in the sport. When you look at his resume, he's boxed everywhere you can in the UK, at Madison Square Garden and Saudi Arabia. To put Africa, China, and the Far East on that resume, that's when you get that global star status. He has no interest in that, but he wants to create history. Now, that epic fight, Rumble in the Jungle, that took place in the DRC was between Muhammad Ali and George Foreman. And Muhammad Ali ferociously knocked out George Foreman in the 8th round to claim the heavyweight world title in 1974. But now Anthony Joshua is looking to put his name alongside those fighters when he goes to revitalize boxing in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Now, obviously, Anthony Joshua, as I said, was on the road for the whole of 2019. It looks like he's going to come back to the UK to fight his mandatory Kubrat Pulev, though. That could take place in either Emirates Stadium, which seems to be a surprising frontrunner at the moment, when it was previously Tottenham's new stadium. And also there is the Olympic Stadium and Twickenham as well. Eddie Hearn has apparently been talking to all parties to stage the fight in London. That is definitely where the fight will take place if it is in the UK, because obviously there is a deal that needs to be made still. So hopefully we will get that fight in the UK, but it looks like Anthony Joshua is looking to go back on the road again. Now, whether that's to fight Alexander Usyk, I would imagine that would be in the UK as well, especially given that Alexander Usyk came over to the UK to fight Tony Bellew to grow his profile. Obviously, he wanted to beat Tony Bellew because Bellew was the best cruiserweight in the division, then he moved up, and Alexander Usyk won all of the world titles. So he didn't want any qualms about who was the best cruiserweight on the planet. I believe that is why he took the Tony Bellew fight. But not only that, he wanted to grow his profile in the UK. And now it looks like Alexander Usyk could fight Derek Chisora on March 28th. And obviously that will be in the UK as well. So Alexander Usyk is looking to grow his profile in the UK. So it would be a shame to take that fight out of the UK considering he has worked so hard to grow his profile in the UK. And obviously Anthony Joshua has a huge following in the UK as well. So it makes sense for that fight to take place in the UK. So Anthony Joshua will likely fight only in the UK in 2020. Now, 2021 could be a different kettle of fish because obviously you have the possibility of the undisputed fight, depending on who wins that fight between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Obviously, there is a rematch as well. So there will definitely be a third fight between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Promoters of both fighters, Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, have explained they will not push aside that rematch. That rematch will happen. Depending on who wins that fight, they will give the other fighter a rematch. Frank Warren, who is loosely tied to Tyson Fury these days, obviously Tyson Fury is based more in the US now, but he said that Tyson Fury will not put aside that Deontay Wilder rematch in order to have the undisputed fight with Anthony Joshua. And Shelley Finkel, Deontay Wilder's manager, has explained that Deontay Wilder will not put aside the Tyson Fury rematch after this to go into the undisputed fight with Anthony Joshua this year. So undisputed won't happen this year unless it happens in December, which I think is highly unlikely. So it will likely be next year. And I think that kind of depends on who wins those fights between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. I believe it will be Tyson Fury, and I hope so because I believe that Tyson Fury will actually go in for that fight. Now obviously there is big interest from Saudi Arabia for that undisputed fight. They are going to put the most money on the table, we can guarantee that. If there is a undisputed fight, which I hope there is, then it will take place in Saudi Arabia because they will put all of the money on the table in order to secure that fight. So perhaps that won't happen in the Democratic Republic of Congo, but I mean, What a way to make history. Obviously, you have that Rumble in the Jungle in 1974 between Muhammad Ali and George Foreman for the heavyweight world title. Imagine if there was an undisputed fight there as well. Obviously, those two fighters would be able to etch their name in history alongside Muhammad Ali and George Foreman. That is why it would be so special. Now, having said that, if Tyson Fury wins that WBC world title and goes into an undisputed fight with Anthony Joshua, we're going to want it in the UK, aren't we? I mean, we can't say anything else. We won't want it to go over to Saudi Arabia. We won't want it in America. We will want it in the UK. It would be great to have it in the UK, and I think that would be incredible for British fight fans, but I just don't see it happening because Saudi Arabia will offer way too much money. And obviously, the Democratic Republic of Congo will not even be able to compete with that as well. So the fight will be in Saudi Arabia for Undisputed, no matter who wins, I believe. If Deontay Wilder wins and he's willing to step up and fight Anthony Joshua, it will be in Saudi Arabia. And the same applies for Tyson Fury, despite having that all-British dust up for the undisputed world title in the heavyweight division. Even Eddie Hearn has come out and said, have a brain, that fight won't happen in the UK because they might be able to offer 15, 20 million to each party who fights in that undisputed fight. Whereas they could get 40 or 50 if they go over to Saudi Arabia. Which one is the fighters going to choose? They're obviously going to choose the more money. So that is what is going to happen. Money talks, and I think that will sway where the undisputed fight happens. But having said that, just because Undisputed will not be in the UK, just because it probably won't be in the US and it won't be in the DRC, that does not mean that Anthony Joshua will not fight in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Depending on who it's against, obviously I believe Anthony Joshua will travel more. He will go and explore different parts of the world and make history in different parts of the world as well. Obviously, Istanbul in Turkey has been talked about as well, and there are many parties willing to put their hands in their pockets to bring Anthony Joshua to their country. And I think we can assume at this stage that Anthony Joshua has the profile and the following and the endorsements in order to revitalize boxing in any part of the world. And the Democratic Republic of Congo won't be any different. That possible fight that could align itself to the Rumble in the Jungle could be out there for Anthony Joshua. Guys, what are your thoughts on this? The possibility of Anthony Joshua going over to the Democratic Republic of Congo to fight one day. And there are many offers coming from all different parts of the world to secure Anthony Joshua in their country. But hopefully he's back in the UK for this year to fight his mandatories, Kubrat Pulev and Alexander Usyk. Guys, what are your thoughts? Drop them in the comments below. Click the thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. Thanks, guys.